Out of the epicenter of the coronavirus, 147 South Koreans and their Chinese family members who were stranded in Wuhan arrive in Seoul on a chartered flight. The group will stay in quarantine for 14 days. COVID-19, that's the new name the WHO has given the coronavirus. This, as the head of the agency labels it, public enemy number one. Plus, a triumphant return. The cast of the Oscar-winning South Korean film Parasite returned to Seoul to a hero's welcome after the movie scooped a historic 4 Oscars at this year's Academy Awards. We start with our continuing coverage of the coronavirus outbreak. A third chartered flight from the virus-stricken Chinese city of Wuhan landed this morning at Seoul's Gimpo International Airport. For the latest, we have our Jiyoung on the line for us. Jiyoung, we hear this flight arrived back a few hours ago.
Yes, Mark. The plane landed at around 6:20 a.m. Korea time. It brought back 147 people, and for the first time, it includes around 60 Chinese nationals who are the immediate family members of the South Koreans. Among those, there are reportedly 5 people that show symptoms of the virus. Those people were moved to the National Medical Center in Seoul upon their arrival. Those who didn't show any symptoms are being taken to the Korea Defense Language Institute in Icheon City, Gyeonggi-do Province, to be isolated for 14 days. Some South Koreans in Wuhan did not get on the previous 2 flights as their Chinese family members had to stay behind due to Beijing's quarantine policy. Some 170 people reported their intent to leave Wuhan, but only 147 were able to board the plane. Sources say that those turned away did not bring the appropriate documentation with them showing the Chinese nationals were their immediate family members.
Well, it's good to see that they're back home safe and will be taken care of here in South Korea. More good news is that South Korea has reported zero new coronavirus cases so far, anyway, today.
That's right. The total confirmed cases is still at 28. On Tuesday, South Korea reported its 28th confirmed case of the novel coronavirus from a 30-year-old Chinese woman. The woman was already under self-quarantine when she was tested positive for the virus and is now at Myeongji Hospital in Gyeonggi-do Province. She's suspected to have contracted the virus from an acquaintance of her. And a man in his 50s who was the 3rd person in South Korea to test positive for the virus on January 26th after coming back from Wuhan. As of Tuesday, 4 out of 28 confirmed coronavirus cases in South Korea have fully recovered and have been discharged from hospital. That's all I have for now, but I'll bring more updates in the later newscast. Back to you.
Jiyoung, thank you very much for that report. Now, China has reported over 100 more deaths from the coronavirus on Tuesday. This brings the reported death toll in that country to more than 1,100. According to Chinese authorities, there are more than 44,000 confirmed cases across China, most of them, we must stress, in Hubei province, as millions of Chinese are set to return to work following the end of the extended by the government, Lunar New Year holiday. The Chinese government is strengthening its quarantine measures in a bid to contain the virus as much as possible. Meanwhile, according to the South China Morning Post on Tuesday, some 100 residents were evacuated from an apartment building in Hong Kong, raising the possibility of aerosol infection through the building's pipes. Now, the novel coronavirus, as we just heard, which has claimed over 1,100 lives so far across the world, has been given an official scientific name. The World Health Organization has labeled the coronavirus COVID-19. The agency is also calling the virus, quote, public enemy number one. Lee Seung-jae with the details.
The WHO has given the coronavirus an official name.
We now have a name for the disease, and it is COVID-19.
According to the head of the WHO, the organization had to find a name that did not refer to a geographical location, an animal, an individual, or group of people. Not to mention a name that's pronounceable and related to the disease. He added that having a name matters, as it prevents the use of other names that can be inaccurate or stigmatizing. The WHO chief stressed the dangers posed by COVID-19, calling it public enemy number one.
A virus can have more powerful consequences than any terrorist action. And that's true. And if the world doesn't want to wake up and consider this enemy virus as public enemy number one, I don't think we will learn from our lessons.
Meanwhile, according to the Director General, the first vaccine against the coronavirus could be ready in 18 months.
There are many basic public health interventions that are available to us now and which can prevent infections now. For instance, the first vaccine could be ready in 18 months. So we have to do everything today using the available weapon to fight this virus, while preparing for the long term using the preparation for the vaccines.
With a cure still a ways ahead, the Director General called for countries to be as aggressive as possible in fighting the outbreak. 이승재, Arirang News.
Now, in other news, the cast of the Oscar-winning South Korean film Parasite returned home early Wednesday morning to a hero's welcome. Actors including Song Kang-ho, Lee Sung-gyun and Jo Yo-jong arrived at Incheon International Airport along with Kwak Shin-hye, the CEO of the film's production company. Let's hear what one of the star actors had to say.
All of the great achievements were possible thanks to your continued support. We will strive to introduce Korean culture and arts to international fans through high-quality movies. Thank you very much.
The airport was packed with fans and journalists who gathered to get a glimpse of the actors. As you can see, the film's director, though, Bong Joon-ho, is staying in LA for the time being anyway, due to other schedules. Now, not only did the Korean movie Parasite rewrite the country's cinema history, but it also created a lot of buzz internationally, including by featuring a signature noodle dish. Many other products in the Oscar-winning film are seeing a sharp upturn in sales as well. Kim Hyo-sun tells us more.
여보세요?
저기 아줌마, 짜파구리 할 줄 아시죠?
짜파구리?
Japaguri, translated as ramdong in the English subtitles of the movie Parasite, is a mixture of japaghetti instant black bean noodles and noguri spicy Korean udon-like noodles. Director Bong Joon-ho said the scene shows that even children of rich families enjoy eating instant food, while explaining that he intended to show the class division between the rich and the poor through the dish by adding cubes of sirloin. The dish has become viral online. The U.S. ambassador to South Korea even posted on his Twitter that he's supporting Bong while eating japaguri. The Korean manufacturer of such instant noodles, Nongsim, is riding high on the bandwagon, witnessing an increase of sales of japaghetti by nearly $30 million compared to a year earlier. The company also released a YouTube video on Tuesday that explains how to cook japaguri with subtitles in 11 languages, including English, Chinese, Spanish, and Vietnamese.
As japaguri is garnering international attention, we uploaded a video in 11 languages so that people can enjoy the dish.
Also in the movie, the Kims drink Phil Light, which is considered a cheaper beer in South Korea, but they start drinking a premier brand after being able to afford it. Phil Light, which is 40% cheaper than the average beer price in South Korea, is also witnessing a continued increase of sales.
We were surprised to spot our beer in the film. We will exert efforts to make Korean alcoholic beverages known globally.
Other Korean products that are starred in the movie are also expected to create buzz internationally.
As Korean contents, including the hit movie Parasite, are becoming popular globally, this could be a chance to spread Korean food culture as well.
Many Korean products that appeared in the movie are now expected to be introduced to international markets in the near future. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.
Now, it's fair to say that an unassuming grocery store and simple pizza restaurant would not be on top of most people's travel itineraries if they came to Seoul. However, that has changed this week following its quadruple Oscar haul. The shooting locations featured in the film Parasite are being overrun by movie fans and journalists as well, looking to see some history through their own eyes. Kan Hyung-woo reports.
This grocery store, Daejistar Supermarket, is the Uri supermarket from the Oscar-winning film Parasite. It's where Kim Gi-woo, the son of the poor family in the movie, gets an offer from his friend to become a tutor for the rich family. That offer starts off the whole sequence of interactions between the rich and poor families in Bong Joon-ho's black comedy.
Right now, lots of foreigners are coming here. We saw 4 different groups 2 days ago. I can't count how many people are taking photos in front of our store. There were reporters from Japan and Spain.
After Bong Joon-ho's black comedy won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director, Parasite fever has turned up a notch. The film's shooting spots in Seoul are getting much attention. This tunnel in central Seoul's Jongno-gu district is also one of the places where Parasite fans can feel the Oscar-winning film. The stairs at the northern entrance of the Chahamun Tunnel are one of the key metaphors in the movie that Bong uses to show the divide in social status. Another filming location is Sky Pizza, which goes by the name of Pizza Age in the film. The restaurant still displays the pizza boxes that the poor family folded in Parasite. The owner of Sky Pizza remembers Bong Joon-ho as a good director.
He was charismatic. He was also respectful to each actor. He was shooting the same scene for like 3 hours, but there were jokes and laughter here and there.
The exact street addresses of these Parasite shooting spots can be found on the Seoul Metropolitan Government's city tour guide website, visitseoul.net. The information is available in 6 languages, including English, Japanese, and Chinese. Kan Hyung-woo, Arirang News.
Now, South Korea's job market continued to perform strongly in January, according to Statistics Korea on Wednesday. The number of employed people in South Korea reached 26.8 million, up 568,000 on year. And that's the biggest on-year rise in almost 5.5 years. It's also the second straight month that the number of new jobs has topped the 500,000 mark. The employment rate for those 15 years or older was 60%. It's highest for the month of January since 1982. South Korea's jobless rate in January fell 0.4 percentage points on year to 4.1%. President Moon Jae-in has highlighted the need to achieve real change this year when it comes to job creation in South Korea. He said that could include adjusting the nation's current retirement age. Park Hee-jun reports.
President Moon Jae-in has raised the need to review extending the age of retirement, currently at 60, in response to the sharp cuts in the working age population.
올해 노인일자리 사업은 더 확대됩니다. 어르신들께는 일하는 복지가 되고 또 더 늦게까지 사회활동에 참여하는 것입니다. 고용 연장에 대해서도 이제 본격적으로 검토를 시작할 때가 되었다고 생각합니다.
President Moon was briefed on this year's policy goals at the Blue House on Tuesday by 3 ministries, including the Ministry of Employment and Labor. The president's remarks on the prolongation of employment echoes what the government had said repeatedly last year. Last September, the government said it will review a new policy that ensures companies allow employees aged 60 or over to continue working. President Moon also made a promise last October to adjust the age limit so that seniors can work longer. But according to a senior Blue House official, the country's retirement age was not discussed later during the event. The administration revealed that it will come up with related measures within its term. President Moon pointed to jobs as his administration's most important task. In the hope of minimizing the economic effects of the novel coronavirus, he called on the government to draw up countermeasures for the industries that are most vulnerable.
신종 코로나 때문에 생산 공정이 중국과 연계되어 있는 제조업과 관광 서비스업 등이 당장 영향을 받고 일자리 여건에도 부담으로 작용할 가능성이 높습니다. 고용 대책과 경제 민생 대책을 마련함에 있어서 이 점을 고려하여 더 긴장해 주시기 바랍니다.
President Moon said it's up to businesses to create high-quality jobs. He emphasized that they should create new growth engines by nurturing industries like biohealth, future cars, and system semiconductors. And turning to the environment and agriculture sectors, the president said the green industry has a market size of $1.2 trillion, 3 times that of semiconductors, showing the need to help Korean firms in the sector grow. He also stressed the need to expand Korea's smart agriculture industry while pioneering new export markets for K-food. Park Hee-jun, Arirang News.
Samsung Electronics has unveiled its new Galaxy S20 smartphone at the company's Galaxy Unpacked 2020 event in San Francisco. The Galaxy S20 range comes in 3 models: the Galaxy S20, Galaxy S20 Plus, and Galaxy S20 Ultra. All 3 have larger screens, upgraded cameras, and enhanced battery capabilities compared to the previous Galaxy S10 series. Samsung's second foldable phone, the Galaxy Z Flip, was also unveiled for the first time. Unlike its previous model, the Galaxy Z Flip bends in half vertically, meaning you can fit it into your pocket. Samsung says the S20 will be launched in early March with a price tag of about $1,000. The Galaxy Z Flip goes on sale on Friday and will retail for $1,400. For a number of years now, many feared robots and computers would make human workers obsolete, on the employment scrap heap, if you will. That's especially been the case in the manufacturing sector. However, the rise of AI has also unnerved those in other professions, including administrative staff, even medical professionals. In the second installment of our 5-part special on AI, Oh Soo-young shows us how people can stay relevant in the rapidly shifting employment market.
Faced with the future of automation taking over the workplace, how can we safeguard human jobs? As artificial intelligence, combined with smart devices and robotics, continues to evolve, it's not only manufacturing jobs that human workers are expected to lose.
Robots and automation are about to leave controlled environments like factories and warehouses and enter into unstructured environments like schools, our highways and streets, our hospitals. And in that transition, robots and automation are going to start to affect lots of new sectors of the economy.
By 2022, the World Economic Forum projects 75 million jobs will be lost, with data entry clerks and administrative workers topping the list of replaceable positions. There seems to be no way to prevent automation, but only looking at the jobs themselves may be counterproductive. Experts are suggesting we should focus on tasks rather than jobs.
So, for instance, if you think of a radiologist has many tasks. So the task that relates to looking at an image and making a diagnostic can perhaps be done by a machine, because machines now are very good at image recognition. Replacing that task, image recognition, by a machine would release time for the radiologists to do other things perhaps better.
It's not all bad news. Automating repetitive tasks frees time for more creative roles, and even new occupations that don't yet exist. Some 133 million new positions, according to the World Economic Forum. Experts say businesses shouldn't only set out to maximize profit with machines. They must proactively seek new roles for their employees and offer training and support to help them sharpen their skill sets.
I think that people will see very rapidly this displacement start to happen in about 5 years. So I think there will be a lot more pressure on governments to move once people start seeing jobs displaced. Because ultimately, the economic incentive to displace people is going to be unlike anything we've seen since the last Industrial Revolution.
Social protection is also needed in the form of policies to ensure workers and their livelihoods are not displaced by the wave of automation. Seoul, Arirang News.
Democrats in the U.S. state of New Hampshire have finished voting for the candidate they think might be able to beat President Trump in November's presidential election. For more on this and other news from around the world, let's turn to our Yoon Jung-min. Jung-min, what's the latest?
Mark, all voting is finished in the New Hampshire primaries now, with 24 pledged delegates up for grabs. All polls closed at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll get the results very soon. So why does New Hampshire matter? It's because its primary results are likely to affect the rest of the Democratic caucuses and primaries going forward. New Hampshire is the only second state to vote following the Iowa caucuses, and it's the first Democratic primary in the U.S. So for Democratic candidates, this race matters a lot, especially when there is no real frontrunner in the party, whereas President Trump is sweeping almost all the votes from the Republican side again. In New Hampshire, registered Democrats and independents can take part in the primary. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg won a surprise victory in Iowa. Others in the hat also included Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and Amy Klobuchar. Michael Bloomberg was not on the ballot in Iowa or New Hampshire as he missed the filing deadline. Switzerland is probing reports the top U.S. intelligence agency and a German spy service used a Swiss firm's encryption technology to break into other countries' top secrets. The Washington Post and Germany's ZDF has earlier revealed that the technology was modified to let the CIA and Germany's BND break codes to crack other countries' top secret messages. The report said American and German spy masters were responsible for almost all Crypto AG operations. Crypto AG has sold its code-making equipment to over 120 countries, including Iran and India, as well as South Korea and Japan. Northern Ireland had its first ever same-sex wedding Tuesday after the government lifted a ban on gay marriage. 26-year-old Robin Peoples, a healthcare worker, and Sharni Edwards, a 27-year-old waitress, became its first gay couple to wed. The couple said Northern Ireland needed to show everyone it's okay, and they had fought so long and hard for the opportunity to be seen as equal. Northern Ireland eliminated its prohibition on same-sex marriage following a vote by British lawmakers.
Good morning. It's a rainy Wednesday and the showers will get heavier and the entire country will have wet weather, with the south coast and Jeju receiving heavier rainfall this time. So up to 80 millimeters there, while other regions will see 10 to 30 millimeters possibly through tomorrow morning. Drive with care because car accidents increased by 10% on rainy days. It was a mild start to the day, but highs will be far lower for Korea's upper regions on this Wednesday. In fact, Seoul will get up to 8 degrees Celsius, which is about 6 degrees lower than yesterday. Southern provinces, however, will have similar to a tad higher readings today, Jeju getting up to 17 degrees Celsius this afternoon. It will actually take a while for spring to fully arrive. We will enjoy milder than average temperatures through Saturday. Then there will be another brief cold snap from Sunday. That's Korea for you, and here's the international weather for viewers around the world.
Well, that's where we're going to leave the news and weather for now on this Wednesday morning here in Seoul. Stay tuned to Arirang TV. Plenty more coming up, including our next newscast at noon Korea time. So until then, goodbye.
The novel coronavirus is spreading all over the world. To prevent the virus from spreading further, it's essential